Good morning, ladies. Today we're going to read this text together. It's on page 20 in our textbook. And to make it more interesting for you, we're going to read it together. I'm going to read it and you can just listen, and you can of course read along. You can also read the sentences. You can always press pause and then you read it. Right? And I'm going to explain some words to you which might be difficult. Alright, and it's quite funny actually, the text, so not too bad. Adrian's little sister. This is from the diary of a 15-year-old Adrian Mole. He lives with his mother in the English Midlands. His mother is expecting a baby, so she's going to get a baby soon, going to have a baby soon. A first brother or sister for Adrian. His parents separated not long ago, so that's a little bit sad, yeah? They are probably divorced and they don't live with each other in one house or flat anymore, so they are separated. When I got home from school, my mother's little suitcase was missing from the hall. The hall is the corridor. She was nowhere in the house, but I found a note on the biscuit tin. A tin is like a can, but a can is only for drinks in English, for example a can of Coke, and a tin is like a can but bigger and it's for food. A biscuit tin. It said, I am in the labor ward of the Royal Hospital. Okay, the ward is the area in a hospital, for example, for people who have got a problem with broken bones are in one area, in one ward, and here we are in the labor ward, so that's for mothers who are going to have their babies very soon, in the next 1 or 2 hours. So and labors are Wehen, but also work. Work is also labor. Call a taxi. 10 quid. 10 quid are 10 pounds. A 10 pounds note at the bottom of the spaghetti jar. Don't worry. Love, Mum. P.S. Dog at Mrs. Sings. Okay, so the dog is there with her. Her writing looked very untidy. In a hurry, probably. She was in a hurry. The taxi ride was a nightmare. I was trying to get my hand free of the spaghetti jar all the way. The taxi driver said, You should have turned the jar upside down, you stupid idiot. He parked outside the entrance to the hospital and looked at my hand in the jar in a bored kind of way. Just a moment, I must have a look. Yeah, it's working, sorry. He said, You'll have to pay for the time I'm waiting here. 100 years passed, then he said, And I can't change a 10-pound note either. Okay, it's really a nightmare, yeah? I was almost crying when at last I managed to pull my hand free. I gave the taxi driver the 10 pounds and ran into the hospital. Took the lift to labor ward. By the way, just to explain this to you here, yeah. So, of course, the fee, the cost for the taxi ride was less than 10 pounds. And the taxi driver is quite an idiot because he said, yeah, he can't change the 10 pounds note. And yeah, so Adrian has to give him all the money, yeah, because he can't change. Good. Took the lift to labor ward. I came out into another world. It looked like the Space Control Center at Houston in Texas, yeah, where they shoot rockets up into space. A technician said, Who are you? I said, I'm Adrian Mole. And you've got permission, so the allowance, yeah, you are allowed to, you've got permission to visit the labor ward? Yes, I said. Why did I say yes? Why? Room 13. I pushed the door of room 13 open and saw my mother lying on a high bed reading a book. She looked pleased to see me and then asked why I had brought the spaghetti jar into the hospital. That's kind of funny. Then she screwed her face up, yeah, so she made a face, you would say, yeah, it's not a nice face. She screwed her face up and started singing. After a bit, she stopped singing and looked normal. She even laughed when I told her about the horrible taxi driver. So maybe mom is still a little bit crazy after the birth, yeah? It can probably happen. She has probably lost a lot of blood, yeah? Right, so it's supposed to be funny, yeah? They want you to laugh about this. Right then. A black nurse came in and said, "Are you all right, honey?" My mother said, "Yes, this is Adrian." After about half an hour, my mother was singing more and talking less. She held my hand. The nurse came back in and to my relief told me to go out. But my mother wouldn't let go of my hand. "Oh, sorry, my mistake, ladies. The birth hasn't been there yet, yeah? So she's still going to have a baby. So I'm not sure. Maybe she was just very nervous and started singing because she was so nervous. So, or maybe it was the drugs, yeah? They probably gave her some medication, some drugs for the pain. Good. The pains are the labor. Yeah? The pains is here when you are going to have the baby. The pains are horrible. The pains started coming every minute, and my mother went crazy. And a lot of people ran in and started telling her to push. I sat in a far corner at the head end of my mother, so where the head is, yeah, at the end of the mother's bed, and where the head of the mother is, and tried not to look at the other end where doctors and nurses were doing something with uh, metal things. Yeah, just imagine that. I mean, it would be horrible for you either, wouldn't it? But you would be girls, and this is a boy at the age of 15, and he's also with his mom in this operating theater, you would say, yeah? Der Operateurraum, yeah? Operating theater. My mother was panting, panting, yeah? Soon everyone was shouting, "Push, Mrs. Mole, push!" Harder they shouted. My mother went crazy again, and the doctor said, "I can see the baby's head." I tried to escape then, but my mother said, "Where's Adrian? I want Adrian." This is really funny, ladies, I must say. Maybe you don't find it funny, but it's funny. So this boy, he's 15 years old, yeah. He's trying to run away, but he can't run away because his mom wants to have him here. Soon my mother had another crazy moment. Then the doctors and nurses gave a kind of loud sigh. Whew. And I looked up and saw a skinny purple thing hanging upside down. "It's a lovely little girl, Mrs. Mole," the doctor said. The baby started crying in a bad-tempered way, so in a bad mood, yeah? And she was put on my mother's flatter belly. The belly is the tummy, yeah, the stomach. My mother looked at her as if she was a beautiful piece of jewelry, like gems, yeah, like a diamond or something. She said, "Say hello to your sister." The doctor stared at me and said, "Aren't you Mr. Mole, the baby's father?" I said, "No, I'm Master Mole, the baby's brother." Okay, this is crazy again a little bit, yeah. Um, I don't know, how on earth would the doctor think that he is the father? Yeah, he's like 15. I mean, that's a little bit crazy, isn't it? It's probably also supposed to be funny. Then you have broken every rule in this hospital, he said. I must ask you to leave. You could have all kinds of children's diseases. Yeah? So actually, Adrian was not allowed to be in this room. And he didn't want to be in this room. So, funny ending here. I went home and went to bed. It was only 7:30, but for some reason I was very tired. The phone woke me up at 8:15. It was my father, gibbering about having a girl. He wanted to know every detail about her. I said she was like him, not much hair and bad-tempered. So it's really funny. Okay, ladies, now I hope you liked it as well, and you're going to have to work with the text in our textbook. I'm going to write it down for you, okay? Right. Bye bye. See you.